Happy Friday, October 11th, everybody. This is Chris Harrington, your commissioner, with the Week 6 EKL Fantasy Football Preview. Sorry for missing last week. Again, the video was amazing. It's Matt and myself for over 20 minutes, just going through the games, laughing back and forth, making jokes. Matt threw some great lines out there, and I'm sorry that only I got to hear it. For some reason, YouTube is not letting me put on long videos. So 15 minutes is our limit, so let's just jump into it. And now that we're 45 seconds in, let's try to wrap this up in the next 14 minutes. First game in no particular order, except for the fact that the last game is going to be the game of the week, so there actually is an order. JB versus Dave Crosby. JB is already out to a very strong start, having 30 points already on the board. I'm glad I faced him last week when Marshall only got him a handful of points instead of the 20 points he got him last night, with Matt Forte also having a solid night, giving him 10 points. It looks like defenses have finally pulled Victor Cruz back down to where he normally should be, instead of being the top receiver in the league, getting him the second week in a row, having less than 10 points. So Victor Cruz giving Crosby 6 points instead of the projected 12. So JB is looking strong in this. JB, good call, gutsy call, in going without Alshon Jeffrey, who got you 20 points and 27 points in the last 2 weeks, to only get 27 yards last night. All right, so on to the matchup. The one thing holding JB's team back is his quarterbacks. I'm not Kaepernick and Wilson. They were so last year, not doing that great this year. I believe in Drew Brees. I believe in him wanting to outplay Tom Brady in his matchup with New England. So I'm going to give quarterbacks to Crosby. Wide receivers, he's got Crosby has Hopkins in as one of his starting wide receivers, going up against A.J. Green and the 20 points of Brandon Marshall. So I'm going to go with JB on that one. Running back, I really like Reggie Bush this year. He's had a great year so far. But if Calvin Johnson's out, he's not going to have that good a week this week. He's going up against Cleveland. And Crosby also has McGahee going against Detroit. So solid running backs there. With Forte already getting 10 points and Sproles playing Sunday afternoon against New England, I'm actually going to go with a surpriser here, and I'm going to go with Crosby. And part of the reason I'm going with Crosby is just because of the fact that we already know that Forte is only locked in 10 points, which is a solid running back number, but not that great. Jordan Cameron, he's been playing lights out. I'm going to say he's going to continue that. Victor Cruz getting 6 points for Crosby. So Crosby wins the tight end. 6 points from Victor Cruz. We don't know what he's got. Torrey Smith going up against Green Bay. Green Bay has actually allowed the number one wide receiver to do pretty well this year. But I think that Baltimore is actually going to run the ball a lot, which is then going to hinder Crosby, but help JB with Ray Rice. JB, interestingly, is going with no kicker this week since his kicker's on a bye, which actually leads me to another fun fact in that JB is really dodging a bullet this week. He's getting Crosby in a week where Matt Ryan's sitting, Julio Jones is sitting. Oh, wait, he's on IR now. And Lamar Miller is also sitting. So there you go. I'm going to, you know what, when it's all said and done, Crosby has Denver's defense. Houston is JB's. I'm actually going to go with JB on that. Well, no, Denver's playing Jacksonville. I'm going to say Crosby's going to win that one, but overall JB's going to win the matchup. So, well done, JB Ward. Let me see if my internet will actually allow me to. There you go. Our next game is myself against Matt Harrington, which I'm pretty sure Matt is beating me. I don't know why it's not showing an updated score here, so I will just have to get it out of the way. I'm pretty sure that our current score is 27-0. Matt getting 27 points. Yep, it is, from his quarterbacks last night. Solid play by Jay Cutler. Surprising start for Matt with Eli Manning over Terrell Pryor. But hey, I'm happy that happened. 27 points from a quarterback is not that bad, but it's also not that great. Probably outscore JB, but he's not going up against JB now, is he? No. So I'm going to go with me winning the quarterback position, Stafford and Romo. Romo's really coming into his own, really becoming an elite quarterback these days. So I'll give me that. Matt is going to get the win at wide receiver. Des Bryant and Randall Cobb. Cobb is going up against Baltimore, which is a great defense. And Decker is a little more, it is actually fitting that he's on Denver because it really is a Rochambeau. Which wide receiver is going to get all the work? Which week? You never know. So I'm going to go with Matt at wide receiver. For running back, I'm going to give it to myself. Adrian Peterson and LaShawn McCoy, two of the top 3 running backs in the league, and they're regardless of who they're going up against. Even though Carolina is actually a very good defense, I think that they'll have good days, especially since Peterson is rested, coming off a bye week. Frank Gore, Muscle Hamster, they're solid. So Matt's not going to be that far off, but I'm going to give the running back position to myself. I'm going to give tight ends to Matt, being Antonio Gates. He's playing on Monday night. I expect Antonio Gates to have a good week, so I'm going to give that to Matt over Jason Witten. Alfred Morris. Interesting thing about him is that he is kind of nursing a rib injury, so that he could be a solid play against Dallas, who is giving up yards, but he could also be someone that goes out short for a short week. Jamal Charles going up against Oakland. I think that's a solid play. I think he'll continue his streak of a touchdown in 100 yards every week. And T.Y. Hilton, I'm rolling the dice, going up against San Diego Monday night. And I both actually have a Monday night player, so that'll be fun. Prolong the weekend. Then I have Cincinnati going up against Buffalo. I feel like that'll be good since Buffalo has a backup quarterback kind of coming in to be their starter. And by backup, I mean they picked him up off the street and they're throwing him into the game. Matt has Seattle, and I mean, how can you go against Seattle any day? So, when it's all said and done, I like Matt's team a lot, but I kind of like my team a little better. So I'm actually going to give the win to me, which means that I'm going to lose. That's kind of how it's been this year. So there you go, Matt. Next game, we have the 5th team versus the 8th team. That is Pierce versus Spinogle. Pierce, you're going to win the quarterbacks every week. We say that every week, especially since Michael Vick is out for Spinogle, which probably means that, hey, guys, get ready for Stanzi. Stanzi might be getting the start for Spinogle. So just get ready. Okay, maybe, probably not. But Big Ben will probably get the start for him since Michael Vick might not play this week. But it's not going to matter. Peyton Manning, Aaron Rodgers, solid quarterbacks, and they're going to do well. Although I think that Phillip Rivers will probably do better than Rodgers for Pierce. So I'll give the quarterbacks to Pierce. Wide receivers, you have James Jones, Andre Johnson going up against Colston and Fitzgerald. Fitzgerald and Jones will knock each other out because of the defenses they're going up against. So it's Johnson or Colston. I'll go with Colston, getting a slight edge. So slight edge to Pierce on that one as well. Running backs, Arian Foster starting to play well, picking up his speed, but C.J. Spiller not so good, and he's going up against Cincinnati, so that'll hurt him. No Sean Marino going up against Jacksonville. He's always good for about 12 points, so I'll give him that. Maurice Jones-Drew, yikes. You trade away with your left tackle so that your left tackle of the future can become your starter, and he then goes down with an injury. So Jones-Drew, he's hurting. He's hurting for an offensive line. I think the only hope for him this season is actually to get traded. I'm gonna go with Spinogle at the running back position. Tight ends, I'm gonna go with Spinogle. Thomas for Denver, he's amazing. Nix got 7 points last night, solid for Nix, which is interesting. I thought he got his first touchdown last night. Yeah, oh, he has just 70 yards. Oh, sorry, it's Reuben Sandwich Randall. They got a touchdown last night. Okay, Wes Welker though. Anybody with Wes Welker is going to beat. I'm going to give the flex position to Spoons Nogle. Solid team, Spinogle. 1-4 is tough, but you still have a solid team. And then I'm going to go with San Francisco doing well against Arizona. So, yeah. Overall, I'm going to give the win to Pierce. All right, let's see. So, the game of the week. Yeah, game of the week. Momper versus Sandvig. Check the time. Got a couple minutes. Okay, Momper versus Sandvig. Quarterbacks. I'm going to go with Brady having a bounce back week from last week when he went up against the Cincinnati Bengals. I was present. I helped with that. Yeah, sure. Brady and Luck are going to have solid weeks. RPG3 is going to be playing Sunday night, so he might actually have a solid game just because prime time. But Bradford, no. So I'm going to give quarterbacks to Momper. Wide receivers, as long as Calvin Johnson is a go, I think he's gonna do well. The only thing is he's going up against Hayden, and Hayden gets favorable calls. He's allowed to basically ride everybody's back because he's such a good corner. So that could be the one thing that kind of hinders Johnson, especially since the game is in Cleveland. So I'm going to go with Momper and his wide receivers being Thomas and Nelson, two great wide receivers on great offenses. At running back, you have DeMarco Murray and Danny Woodhead. Danny Woodhead, solid pickup and play. He's been playing well, but they're going up against Richardson and Lynch, so that's going Momper's way. Tight end, Momper, Graham, he'll be getting that all week. Le'Veon Bell finally came back and played 2 weeks ago, had a solid game, but he's going up against a good defense, but so is Andre Brown. Blackman is actually came back last week and had a good week. I'm going to give that to Momper as well. And then defenses, I think, is going to be a wash. No, Kansas City. Momper wins all the way down the board. I'm going to give Momper his 5th win. To take this one home. So, there you go, everybody. Let me just make sure I got a minute to spare. A minute to spare. One of my favorite lines, I think, from last week was we were discussing Pierce's team, and we were going down it, and Matt goes, Maurice Jones, who? I just thought that was great. And very fitting. But, yeah. So, I love you all so much. Again, I'm sorry about last week. I hope you're having a great week this week. And I hope everyone enjoys their Week 6 games. Love you all.